Hey guys, so today on D3Live we're going to be talking all about the iPad 2. So of course the iPad 2 launched yesterday and I've had lots of coverage on my channel which you guys can check out. But today I'm going to be totally focusing D3Live on your questions. So of course every episode of D3Live is filmed in front of Blog TV. We've got quite a few people in here right now. So just go ahead and start answering some of your most asked questions. What is the megapixel for camera stills on the iPad 2? The iPad 2 has the exact same camera as on the iPod Touch 4th generation. AKA, it's got shoots 720p video and 0.7 megapixel stills. They're not really, it's not a good still camera. It's okay for video, but what it really relies on is a lot of light. Outside, it's a really nice camera. Inside, it's pretty grainy. Although for FaceTime, that really doesn't matter because it's going to be a little bit pixelated anyway. So it's pretty much just a FaceTime camera. You're not going to want to, walk around trying to film like that. It's a little bit silly. How much RAM does the iPad have? It has 512 megabytes of RAM. That's a little bit lower. For example, a couple of the other tablets, such as the BlackBerry Playbook and the Motorola Zoom, have a full gigabyte of RAM. However, since the iPad is based off of iOS and is typically not too RAM hungry, I haven't noticed any slowdowns, any major issues whatsoever with 512 megabytes of RAM. In fact, I think that was probably more than it really needs. But of course, more is always better. How is the audio quality, high tone, low tone, etc.? Audio quality is really good. With the iPad 2, there's now a speaker down on the bottom left, and it provides really, really deep and actually pretty powerful sound. I haven't really gotten into too many tests. I need to listen to a lot of music and stuff because, of course, I've had this for less than 24 hours. But my first impressions are it is really, really nice. Of course, for listening to music, for watching movies, especially for movies and games and that sort of stuff, it's going to sound really, really loud and very, very accurate. I definitely noticed, compared to like an iPod Touch or like some laptop speakers or something, the sound seems to be really accurate. There's the right amount of bass and all that kind of stuff. But again, I will get into that after I do a little bit more testing. How is reading books on the iPad 2? Excellent. I pretty much do all my book reading in the Kindle application, so Kindle works excellent for the iPad. And of course, there are really no major differences between the iPad and the iPad 2 as far as e-book reading. But expect a really nice experience. The 9.7-inch display is perfect for reading books. And of course, the iPad 2 has plenty of power to get the nice page scrolls and all that kind of stuff. Have I noticed a difference in battery life? Well, I'll tell you what, I am currently at 42% battery life on this iPad. I purchased it last night about 6 o'clock, so that was, about 20 hours or so ago. I've been using it on and off, and I'm only down to 40%. So, yeah, it's pretty good. If it's taken me this long just to get 50%, yeah, I'm really impressed so far. I have not even so much as plugged this in once since I got it out of the box. Do I know how a way to view Flash video? Yeah, there are a couple of different apps in the App Store that you can use to view Flash video on the iPad. Most notably, I know the one is Skyfire. I use that on my iPod Touch all the time. It works decently, but it's not a perfect solution. You generally have to wait around a little bit and wait for it to buffer and all that kind of stuff. Although with the iPad 2, which is the same as on the original iPad, you can view YouTube videos and that sort of thing just embedded, no problem. But as far as standard traditional Flash content, you're not going to be able to view that without some apps such as Skyfire. Will you recommend the iPad 2 to family and friends, like the Hostler Zero? Well, like I said, I haven't quite had the iPad 2 long enough to give my full review. But my early impressions are absolutely. This thing is great. It's really nice for viewing websites. In fact, with the dual-core processor, I'd say it's pretty much as fast as most laptops. Of course, you've got, watch movies, the apps, the games, everything. First impressions are, yeah, I would recommend it to family and friends. In fact, I've already done that to a couple of my friends. But, yeah, really, really solid so far. Big noticeable difference in graphics. Not yet. With the iPad 2, it does have a much more powerful graphics. Indeed, they say they're around 9 times faster, which you can take it with a grain of salt. But anyway, it does have much improved graphics. However, there really aren't a ton of games that are available. I mean, current games are going to look pretty much the same as on the iPad. And there are a couple such as Dead Space that are optimized for the iPad 2. However, I haven't really gotten into a lot of the gaming yet. I've mostly been making videos about the various apps and that sort of thing. So yeah, there is a big difference in graphics, but I haven't really been able to test that too much. So we'll see a little bit later. Why didn't Apple add Retina display to iPad 2? I think one of the major reasons is cost. I mean, if you take a look at like the iPhone, the iPod Touch, when they update the screen, that's a small screen, so they can afford to spend a little bit extra on the display. However, with an iPad, what you've got to understand is this is a 9.7-inch display. if they made this a Retina display, it would have a higher resolution than, for example, the Apple LED Cinema display, which is over $1,000. So I'm sure Apple, if they wanted to, they could have a Retina display in the iPad, but that iPad would probably cost twice as much, and I don't really think that that's a trade-off that they're worth, that they think is worth it. So the display is still pretty solid on this. It's got fantastic viewing angles, all that kind of stuff, but it is fairly low resolution. So I think it's just a trade-off. Just you don't have to pay $1,000 for an iPad. Should you upgrade from the original iPad? That is an excellent question. It depends. The iPad 1 is still a great piece of technology. However, the iPad 2 is better in several key ways, most notably in speed and the thinness. I really think that the thinness is probably one of my favorite things about the iPad 2. One of the biggest things I think if you're considering upgrading is how much is that going to cost you. So if you're considering selling your current iPad, go on eBay, see what they're going for. There are a variety of websites all about selling. So try to figure out exactly how much it will cost you to sell that, and then go and figure out which iPad 2 you want to do. If it's only going to be a small difference as far as maybe like $100, $200, then yeah, I'd say definitely go for the iPad 2. However, if you're going to be spending a lot of money to upgrade, you might want to think about it a little bit. Go test it at your local Best Buy or Apple store. I think it's a solid upgrade, but the iPad 1 is still a pretty solid piece of technology. Is iMovie interface good? Absolutely. I actually just recently did some videos about it. I showed you guys a video I filmed from iMovie, as well as how to edit and all that. You guys can check that out on my channel. But yeah, overall, iMovie's pretty solid. Slightly, just the slightest little bit laggy every once in a while, but not too bad. Anyway, guys, that's it for this week's episode of D3 Live. If you have any additional questions about the iPad 2, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. Anyway, guys, if you're interested in more D3 Live, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I do D3 Live every weekend, or rather every Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Subscribe, I'll do a video, I'll let you guys know when you can watch it live, or you can watch the pre-recorded episodes on YouTube. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching.